Good morning, everybody. In the previous class, we have seen Brave Potter, the beginning. In that beginning part, we have seen how did the Potter feel difficult in capturing or in finding out his donkey, and how he has mistook the tiger to be his donkey. Let us see what problems he has faced, and finally, how did he become the general, and how did the king reward him at the end of the story. Let's go further. Oh, I shall die because of that stupid donkey, groaned the potter to his wife. He has only brought us trouble. The next day he went to his wife to the capital. The king was pleased to see him and ordered the potter to lead the army into the battle the next day. Now, what happened is the potter was not at all feeling comfortable. Okay, he groaned. He groaned means he expressed his pain that the donkey has troubled him a lot. He just wanted to take rest, but unfortunately, the very next day, what has happened? The potter was called to the king's palace, to the capital city, to meet the king, and the king was very pleased to see the potter. Why was the king pleased? The king was pleased because the king was thinking that he is a brave potter who have caught a tiger. So when a person has suddenly caught a tiger, we feel that is a very brave person. And the king is equally confident that this potter is going to be the general and he is going to win the war for his kingdom. So this was the assumption that was made by the king. And he has ordered the potter to lead the army in the battlefield. My dear potter, tomorrow you are supposed to go to the battlefield and you have to lead my army and you have to win the war for our kingdom. This is what the king expected or ordered the potter. But let's see. Now, the enemies were not far away from the gates of the city. The enemies have already invaded. They were exactly near the gate of the city. Okay. And the king says that you have to take the lead. I mean, the potter has to take the lead. And to stay for that night, a splendid house. A splendid house means a house which is looking very, very great. Okay. Which is looking very good. Okay. Which is awesome to look. Such a kind of house was prepared for the potter to stay along with his wife, and the horse which would carry him in the battle was ready in the stable. Now, stable is nothing but a place where horses are kept, and because the potter was made as a general, he was given a good, strong, energetic horse which will take him to the battlefield, and it is already ready in the stable. But the problem is the potter had never ridden a horse before. I think he'll be in problem now. That night the potter could not sleep. He was nervous and worried because he did not know how to ride a horse. The potter doesn't know how to ride a horse. He's just a potter who makes a pots. Okay. And he was completely unaware of what is war or what is battlefield and how to ride a horse. And he was not able to sleep. Actually, he was given a splendid house to stay, but that night he was completely sleepless. It was just like a nightmare for him. He was nervous. I mean, he was tensed and worried. Tomorrow, how should I ride the horse? Because I don't know how to ride a horse. And if I fall off, everybody will laugh at me. Suddenly, by mistake, if he falls down from the horse, everybody will make fun of the potter. He is not worried about it. I will get up very early tomorrow and practice riding the horse. He decided that early morning before everybody gets up, I shall get up early and I shall practice how to ride a horse so that no one should make fun of me when I go into the battlefield. So he decided, he made up his mind that he would get up in the morning and learn how to ride a horse. Right, children? Let's go further. At dawn, the potter woke up with his wife and they went to the stable. So before everybody waking up from sleep, at early in the morning, they both got up, wife and husband got up. they saw the beautiful black horse ready for its master. So they went to the stable and they were able to see the horse which was all set to carry this great general on its back to the battlefield. But the horse that was given to the general, it was a very good looking one, and it was very strong, and in fact it was very tall. Oh, how tall he is, sighed the potter. Sighed means he has taken deep breath. Oh my God, how big is this horse? Can I climb it? I shall never be able to climb on its back. The potter confirmed that he will never ever climb on the back of the horse because it's very tall and is very short. I don't think I'm going to get on the back of the horse. He was worried. Now if you see here, black, beautiful black is nothing but a compound adjective. Beautiful and black both are describing the horse. It's a compound adjective. When two adjectives are used together, they are called as compound adjectives. Now, put this bench beside him, said his wife, and use it as a step. Even with the help of the bench, the potter had much difficulty climbing on the horse's back. His wife brought a bench, and just kept it like a step, so that this potter would put one step on the bench and then get on the back of the horse. But after keeping the bench as a step, still the potter was not able to climb the horse. And finally, with a lot of difficulty, taking the support of the bench, he was able to get on the back of the horse. He found that the saddle was very slippery. Now this is the saddle, the place where we sit on the back of the horse. This is a seat and this is called a saddle. It's a leather cover on the back of the horse which is used for being seated. So that was very slippery and he was just slipping. He was not able to sit comfortably. Please tie my feet to the stirrups. Now these are called as stirrups. You can see here, to these stirrups only, we just put the legs in that so that we'll have a balance and will not fall down. But still the potter said that please tie me to the stirrups. What did he say? He found the saddle was very slippery. Please tie my feet to the stirrups. So his legs must be tied up to the stirrup. That means the leg or the foot should not come out from the support, because by slippery, if it comes out, he may roll down and fall. So not to fall, he has asked his wife so that his foot must be tied to the stirrups. So though he falls also, there is no chance that he is going to fall down on the ground. He will be just on the horse, either this side or that side, but without falling down. Otherwise, said the potter, otherwise I shall certainly fall off. If you don't tie my foot to the stirrups, I think because of the speed of the horse while it runs, I will certainly fall down. So you please tie my legs or my foot to the stirrups. This is what the potter said. So this is saddle, the place where the potter is going to be seated, and this is stirrup where you put your foot so that you will support well on the back of the horse. Right, let's go further. So as instructed by the potter's wife, his wife, what she has done, she took a rope and tied the potter's feet very tightly to the stirrups. Then she passed the rope underneath the horse, even this way, that way, everywhere. He was just tied like a sack or like a bag on the back of the horse, because the potter feels that he should not take a chance of falling down from the horse back. So entire his body, his legs, everything were tied to the horse. She also passed a length of rope around the potter's waist, even the waist also. Here also she tied some ropes and tied it to the body of the horse, so that wherever, with whatever speed the horse runs, the potter is never going to fall from the horse. Right? Let's see how the horse is going to run, and let's see whether the Potter is going to fall down or not. Now if you see here, bound is a word which means to tie. Now please tie my hands to the neck, said the Potter. I mean, his hands must be tied to the neck of the horse. Meanwhile, the big black horse was impatiently, it was eagerly waiting to run. It was very strong and it doesn't want to waste its time. It wanted to carry its master, that is the general, to the battlefield. And when the Potter's wife tried to pass another rope around its neck, the horse suddenly jumped free. The horse was impatient. It was not willing to wait any further there calmly. So what it has done, it started to gallop. To run. It galloped out of the stable with the Potter hanging like a sack of rice. That's what. When the horse started to run very fast, the Potter could not balance his body on the back of the horse and he slipped. But luckily, he did not fall down because his entire body, his waist, everything was tightly tied to the back of the horse. He was just like a bag of sack on the back of the horse. Only the ropes kept him from crashing to the ground. Because he was tied with the ropes, luckily, by God's grace, he did not fall on the ground. So this is the hoof, which is a hard part of the horse. Okay, let's go further. The Potter held tightly to the horse's neck. He caught hold of the neck with the reins, that is nothing but the ropes, and prayed all the gods to say, oh God, nothing should happen to me. I should not fall down. Somehow I should be seated on the horse's back and go to the enemy field. So he kept on praying to all his favorite gods. And after galloping through the quiet streets, the horse crashed out of the city gates. It ran out of the city and across the open fields, and finally it overcrossed the fences and the streams of the water and began to go forward to the place where the enemies are ready to fight. When the Potter realized that they were going, he tried harder than ever to stop the horse. What no, the fear, and he was very scared now. If I go to the enemy camp, I'm not a soldier. I don't know how to fight. So before entering into the enemy camp region, the Potter made all his efforts to hold on the horse and stop its running. But the horse was out of his control. It was not controlled, and the Potter could not control it. It ran faster and faster and faster, and how much efforts he has put in, everything went in vain. He pulled the ropes, the reins. These are the reins now. So this is for the direction what we show. So these reins he pulled up very tightly to have a break to the speed of the horse, but it was of no use. The more he tried to control the horse, the more faster it ran. When they passed a young tree, the Potter grabbed a branch. So while he was going on his way to the enemy camp, beside there was a tree. So he caught hold of a branch of a tree. But what he thought is that if I catch hold of a tree, because of the the weight of the tree or something like that, because it's deeply rooted in the ground, he thought that the horse may be stopped. But to his grace, the horse did not stop. The speed of the horse could not be controlled. Instead, because of the speed of the horse, the intensity of the running of the horse, even the tree which was grounded or which was inside the ground, deeply rooted, just came up. Okay, the tree was pulled out of the ground. You just imagine now, it was rooted in the ground, and because of the force or the speed of the horse, the entire tree which was rooted in the ground came out all of a sudden, and this horse did not stop. Now we can see that the Potter is just catching the reins of the horse in one hand. In the other hand, he was holding a tree, because the tree came uprooted from the ground because of the speed of the horse. And a sentry, a security at the enemy camp, he saw the Potter galloping, coming forward with the tree in one hand and the reins in the other hand. He was catching the reins or the ropes of the horse in one hand, and in the other hand he was catching the tree. And this sight or the image of the potter with one single hand a tree uprooted from the ground and one single handed controlling the tall energetic horse was seen by a sentry, and the sentry was completely scared. Oh my god, the brave potter who fought with the tiger or who caught the tiger is now coming to us to fight single handed. The sentry was scared, or he was frightened. He just thought that might be the general who captured a tiger with his bare hands. He thought, now he has uprooted a tree with one hand. He is not an ordinary man, he is a giant. He is compared as a giant. Now you can see the potter catching hold of the horse with one single hand, and the other hand you can see the tree uprooted from the roots, and with single hand while catching like this, the sentry was completely speechless. He was scared, he was fainted, and immediately he went and said, run, run, save our lives, the famous tiger general is coming at the head of a large army to attack us, and he is the strength of a giant. Because he has uprooted a tree with a single hand, the sentry thought that he must be having the power of a giant and he is going to kill all of them. He has uprooted a tree with a single hand. He just went and conveyed the message to his army. The frightened soldiers fled. The king was left by himself in this tent. Hurriedly he wrote a letter begging for peace and apologizing for attacking the country. When they looked at the potter, all the soldiers, they escaped. They ran away from the danger, and including the king, who was frightened, immediately wrote a letter saying that I am very sorry for attacking your kingdom. I never know that you have a strong general who can fight with a single hand by uprooting a tree. He left that letter in the camp, and he too ran away along with his soldiers. And when the potter's black horse reached the deserted camp, deserted means it's completely empty now. All the soldiers ran away, including the king, and the camp was completely empty. Exactly at that place, the horse halted, or it stopped. With shaking hand, the potter untied his feet. When the horse stopped, he was unable to control his fear. The potter, still frightened, he knew that the enemies ran away, the king also ran away, but still he was, shaking unsteadily, and with the shaking hands, he just came to the ground. He looked around, and he was surprised to see that the entire camp was completely empty. And he was very shocked to see the letter saying that we are not going to attack a country and we are sorry for attacking a country, and they ran away. Now he took that letter from the king, from the opponent king, and then he went to his wife and gave the letter to his wife. This is what the enemy king has written, saying that he is frightened of me and he ran away without attacking our kingdom. Dear wife, he said, never in my life I will ride a horse. So it's a very bitter experience for him. He told to his wife that in my life I will never ever again ride a horse. Please take this letter and give it to the king tomorrow. This is the letter, and tell him that the enemy has ran away. Please inform to the king that the enemy is no more. He ran away and the camp is completely empty. I'm going to sleep now, I'm going to bed. His wife ran towards the palace with the letter, and the king read the letter and he was full of praise. He was unable to control his joy because he got his kingdom back, and he was very happy that without fighting, without even any kind of war taking place, the king was able to win the war. And he felt very happy, and he started praising the potter, or the new general, for the kind of bravery he has portrayed to win the kingdom for him. And the king asked, where is your husband? My husband is very tired. Your Majesty, Your Highness, my husband is very tired. He is sleeping, answered the potter's wife respectfully. Now, the king said, let him take rest now. I think he must be very tired, but tomorrow he is going to receive a award, the king said. Next morning, the potter went to the king's palace, and he left the black horse in the stable, and walked to the palace. The streets were filled with cheering crowds. Everybody happened to welcome. In Bahubali movie of Prabhas was welcome for the crown ceremony. Similarly, the Potter was welcomed by everybody, cheering up the brave Potter, the brave general, the brave Potter who has caught the tiger, has now won the battle single-handedly. All cheered for the brave Potter, and this was heard by the Potter, and he was not able to understand what exactly is happening. But still, he kept very quiet. He was very humble. Any other man would ride to the palace on a horse, but he is walking like a ordinary man. Actually, the fact what we know is that he doesn't know how to ride a horse, but he was just walking. While he was walking, everybody was thinking that he's so humble, he's so down to earth that he's just walking to the king's palace after having a mighty victory. What a kind of person is he? We should really appreciate for his humbleness. The ordinary common people of the kingdom thought. The king rewarded the Potter so well that there is no need for the Potter to work through his entire life again. From that moment onwards, the king, the country, and the Potter was very happy. By that point of time, the Potter made a decision that he will never again ride a horse. So this is the story how the normal layman, ordinary Potter, has become a general, and luck favored him, and finally he was able to win the battle single-handedly, and he has become a rich person with the king rewarding him. So this is the story of brave Potter. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.